Let Century Management Solutions get you to your next medical appointment. They specialize in non-emergency medical transportation, connecting patients to care, safety, reliability, and on time. Their advanced technology platform seamlessly coordinates patients, healthcare providers, insurers, and transportation partners all in one powerful network. With over 200 trusted transportation providers, they deliver scalable solutions backed by real-time tracking and complete transparency. Go to SENTRYMS.com.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
These numbers are just atrociously awful. A double A for the Democrats here. I mean, just take a look here. Congressional Dems have the right priorities. Look at this. Overall, 74%, nearly 3 in 4 say no. Just 25% overall say yes. You might say, okay, well, at least Dems like Democrats. Not the case. Look at this. The majority of Democrats are independents who lean Democrats. Look at this. 55% say no, congressional Democrats do not have the right priorities. And then you just see a minority, 45% of Democrats say that congressional Democrats have the right priorities. This to me just jumps out at the screen because it screams primary challenges all over the map.
Welcome, my friends, to the Thursday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. That was Harry Enten from CNN. There's another we have from him about Democrat leaders. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, fastest hour in American media. You might as well play the other one from Harry Enten. You can keep the music going if you want, Carlos. That's cut 2, talking about the leadership.
What's overall approval among Democrats of their leaders?
Yeah, okay. So, you'd speak about Democrat on Democrat crime, and I want to know how unusual what we're seeing right now about how Democrats feel about Democrats in Congress is. Take a look at this. This is a trend line going back through the years, midterm elections in which there's a GOP president. Look at this. In 2006, Dems' net approval of congressional Democratic leaders was plus 28. You go back to the last midterm, look at that, plus 19. Very much on the positive side. The bottom has fallen out. The bottom has fallen out. Minus 4 points. That is Democrats. Democrats' own net approval of their own congressional leaders. Even Democrats don't like their own leaders when it comes to Congress. And overall, of course, the numbers are just absolutely awful. So Democrat on Democrat crime, absolutely. This, to me, screams, again, primary challenges across the map. And it screams to me, hey, when it comes to those next leadership elections, maybe something might be cooking.
That's right. The next leadership elections for the Republican Party could be interesting too, especially in the Senate, if they know what's going on. A lot to report on today, folks. Let's spend a minute near the beginning with the story that I am still so upset about. This story took place in New York yesterday. For those of you in New York, you know what I'm going to talk about. The gunman who opened fire into a crowd in Brooklyn killed a 7-month-old baby. This baby, reports today, she had just started walking, taken her first steps. Well, I don't know what the first steps, but she had said her first word, mama. And it's insane. Armani Green, 21, was taken into custody on that after the moped he was riding on crashed a few blocks away from the scene. His accomplice and he were thrown from the bike, and he was injured in the crash. He is allegedly the triggerman of Kiori Patterson Moore, struck in the head, 7-month-old. Her 2-year-old brother was also injured in this, as he's gotten less attention because of the horrific nature of it. She and her mom and the daddy of the children, the father of the children, her fiance, had taken their 2 kids out to get baby supplies when all this happened. And there's a video that's been released of the mother in the bodega when she found out that her child had been hit. There is a friend and neighbor of the father heard screaming outside, raced outside to find more shaking, quaking, fear, and outrage. My daughter got shot. The son was crying, well, this is my sister. I want my mom. And, of course, to no avail. There was a day in New York where if you did this kind of thing, you were guaranteed a trip up to Sing Sing, and it was a one-way trip. You weren't coming back. These days, you have to wonder whether some progressive judge will look at the perpetrator, the alleged perpetrator here, and find a sympathetic story and find a reason to be lenient. It is just so horrible, and the horror doesn't end there. Yesterday, I talked to you about another incident that happened in North Carolina. Today, we have one in Atlanta. A 7-year-old boy shot 3 times when gunfire ripped through his house in southwest Atlanta. Another one of these drive-by shootings with these criminal, and folks, and I know, it is not only a criminal matter, it is also a cultural matter. And some people don't want to talk about it because it can tend to be offensive, and I understand that very, very, very well. But when you look at where these murders are occurring, who they are occurring to, the victims, who are the perpetrators, in many of them, not all of them, I don't even know whether it's fair to say most of them, although I think that in certain instances, depending on where you live, certainly it would be most of them. There is a cultural aspect to this that is not being addressed. And that is why this behavior seems to have settled into one demographic. Yeah, one demographic so often. And so say it in plain language, James, and stop dancing around it. How come so many black and brown men, young men in their teens and early 20s are caught up in this lifestyle, this gang lifestyle, this criminal lifestyle? Why is it happening so much? Southwest Atlanta, don't have to say a word. You already know. I know. You go to certain areas in Queens, in Brooklyn, I know. You know. If you go to certain cities around the country and you identify certain neighborhoods that these things happen, I know. You know. And why has this become why has it is called in certain circles the game, in other circles the life, the street life, the life? Why has this been allowed to settle in to generations of a culture unchecked? It needs to be addressed, and it needs not only to be addressed, it needs to be corrected, not just for the good of the culture, but for the good of the country.
Let me tell you about ProHealthConnect.com. It's transforming healthcare payments, providing retailers a seamless process for over-the-counter and healthy benefit programs. By connecting retailers, health plans, and payment processors, ProHealth Connect creates one powerful, unified network. They empower independent grocers and pharmacies to accept health benefit cards without changing how they do business. With over 10,000 locations nationwide, helping more than 1.3 million people access the care and nutrition they need. Go to ProHealthConnect.com.